What up everybody, it's your girl Do back here with another video. Today I'm taking you guys out in Berlin a bit. We're gonna be doing a little sightseeing and I'm gonna talk about my experience of moving to Berlin, being basically in Germany for the very first time in my life. I have a little bit of a social anxiety, but people here really don't care about what you do. They don't look at you, they're not in anyone's business. I gotta get rid of my social anxiety somehow. I get my mask on. Ah. Alright, so welcome to the part of the video where we just sit and talk and chat. And I also eat. How rude. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is my first impression of Berlin when I very first came here. Obviously, I hadn't been to Germany before. I hadn't even been to, let's say, Europe in general at all. Berlin was quite an interesting one for me. I'm also a very visual person, so I was constantly looking around me, looking at the nature, looking at the buildings. Oh, it's so pretty here. I actually think it's quite unique. And I mean, it's Berlin, you know? So when I first got to Berlin, I had like someone I knew wait for me at the airport to kind of pick me up and show me how things work, because I had only been to Budapest like about 10 days before I came to Berlin, and that was just like a surprise trip where I could actually experience the whole living in Europe type of vibe, you know, because, you know, trying the whole underground system, the train system, looking at the signs, you know, roads and everything. It's a completely different world to what I grew up in. So I was really looking forward to seeing how Berlin works, because I've heard from people who have been to Berlin and who have told me, and people who've been to Germany in general tell me that the system here is incredible, and you know, everything's just so on point, I guess. No, shoo. I knew that crow was after my pizza. Son of a bitch, he came slowly. Alright, so yeah, basically everything was new. You know what, if it comes closer, I'll just feed it. Maybe I'll make a little crow friend while I'm here. Come on. I f***ing knew it. Alright, so the next thing I would like to talk about is something I've found extremely hard is finding accommodation in Berlin. But one tip I would give is to try and make friends here in Berlin and try to get to know people either before you come or after, so you could find an apartment easier, because word of mouth and you knowing friends is definitely easier in getting an apartment. I know, because that's my case. You know, a friend / acquaintance, they found the apartment where I am in. I actually am in a flat share, so I sublet a room from someone, and so far it's been great. But before I came to Berlin for like 2 months straight, I was constantly contacting people online every single day. I think I've contacted more than 100 people in the course of 2 months, and nothing. And especially since I'm a student, you know, people, especially landlords, they really want someone who's a young professional or who's working, so that, you know, they believe that you will be able to pay the rent. All right, come here, little Romeo. Look. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do anything. You can take it. All right, we got friends. We got the whole squad coming here. It's alright, you can take it. Now, one of the best things about Berlin is there's so much green everywhere. You've got parks everywhere. You've got trees everywhere. It's just gorgeous all around. From what I've seen online, and especially coming from a country where they're building everywhere, it's one of the greenest cities I've ever actually seen online and in person. So that is, I love it. And they're also environmentally friendly here. Germany is, I think, one of the top countries in the world for recycling. I think they recycled like more than 50% of their waste, which is, I gotta fact check that, but it's insane. They've got constantly things going on and in the works for having as much greenery as possible and everything to be environmentally friendly, which is If only you could see, like, his head was going this way, like slowly, and I was like mimicking him. The other thing that I definitely love in Berlin is the food. The food is just extremely delicious, and because Berlin is so multicultural, you've got a variety of food. But even in like food you buy at the supermarket, so food that you're able to prepare at home, it's just, everything's just so delicious. Oh, we got a pigeon. I think I'm building a squad here in Berlin, the beak squad. All right, something else that I definitely love in Berlin is the architecture. Oh, like I said, I am a very visual person, and I love being able to like see every single detail in something, be that the buildings or like the flooring or anything. And the architecture here is just, oh, it's to die for. And especially apartment buildings here, they're not like extremely high, and the old ones, oh, they've got like beautiful, like sculpturesque type of vibe. I don't know if sculpturesque is even a word, but you've got sculptures all around it and like carvings, and it looks like it's like a castle. It's just gorgeous, definitely. And I'm going to show you guys in the future as well. It's just something that I completely love. The last thing I want to talk about is something a bit more of a controversial topic, because people have mixed feelings and different opinions about it. It's the people. Now, I've read different articles, different blog posts. I've also seen different reactions. I've seen memes, all of it. And, basically all of them entail that, Germans are cold, they've got no humor, they're really rude, they hate tourists, and they hate outsiders and all of that. From my personal experience, I would say that all of this rudeness and hateness I've experienced about maybe 20 to 30%. Now 30% is still a bit too much. I would say like 20-25% is like the overall rudeness I've experienced from meeting different kinds of people and talking to different people. So I don't know if it's the same case in all cities. Maybe because Berlin's more multicultural, and it should be a bit more tolerant towards people from different cultures. So what I would like to say is definitely a thing that puts a lot of people off here in Berlin is me not being able to speak German. And I've seen the memes. Trust me, I have seen the memes of people who just shun you and are rude to you, and they don't really want to help you because you don't speak German. That is I would say just very few cases. People whom I've spoken English to have definitely tried to help me if I've asked them, but I've also learned German beforehand, so before I came here, because it was like a prerequisite for admission to my university. And if I'm just looking that way, I'm just feeding my new friend. People here are surprisingly really open and helpful when they see you struggling. So I've met a few rude people, but that's just really a few. And whenever I was trying to speak German, and if I mixed something up, or if I was like, I don't know what to say, or if I did a mistake, they would definitely be willing to help me. Sometimes even ask me, do you feel more comfortable speaking in English? And so even though their English was flawed as well, I found that really, really great. Back to German, I had multiple times where I was speaking German and I would make a mistake, and the person would just repeat what I did but in a correct manner, and I would be like, oh yeah, that's it, and they would be smiling and happy. So I guess trying to put effort from both sides is something that you or in general anyone who wants to consider living in Germany should be able to accept, because you need to keep an open mind, especially when moving to a foreign country, somewhere where you don't speak the language, or where you speak the language in a really low level. You need to be able to meet the other person halfway. So not to expect that everyone in the world speaks English, especially the other side shouldn't expect that you should know their language fluently. So it's not something that should stop you from coming to visit Berlin or coming to study here. It's definitely a challenge, but it's not something that will hinder you in your integration process into this society and into this culture. So like I said, you need to be open to everything. You need to have a little bit of thick skin. I sometimes do and sometimes don't, but because I've moved a lot when I was younger, and I also lived abroad during the war in Kosovo, it kind of shaped me into the person I am, and I'm really accepting of all other cultures, and I don't really have a problem with trying to integrate somewhere. But I have to say, I've found lots of helpful people here lots of good people. Like if you smile to them in the street, they'll smile back. You know, it's not Germans. Cool, I like them. All right, guys, thank you so much for staying here with me throughout this video, listening to me just talk about the things I've learned here in Berlin, meeting new friends with me, because we've made... I'm gonna name him Carl. So, you know, we've met new friends, 2 crows and a pigeon. I would say this day was a success. So definitely hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on my socials, and I'll see you in the very next video. Bye! Oh, someone's getting married over there, look. Look. Oh, that's so cute.